Okay, what's up, everyone? We're gonna make a tennis game here. Let me share the screen and show you what I'm talking about here. It's a tennis style game, pretty much. I haven't figured out how to really have two players hitting it back and forth in a real realistic tennis way, but this is more like a tennis practice game. So let me turn up, see, so you can hear. Okay, okay, here we go. Now I'm gonna play for real. So every time I have it, every time you get 5 more points, you get the new medal. So the whole thing is you want to get the gold medal. And it'll reset. So let me see, showing you guys this. Um, so it's a physics-based game again, building on the pinball one that we made, building on those skills, just showing you kind of how you could just have fun with these physics style. All right, I'm gonna stop it there, but I think you get the gist of it, right? And of course, I'm gonna want all of us to add more, a little more to it, a little more pizzazz. I gave you everything to upload, the sprites and all that stuff. So, make sure you downloaded everything. Change that later on, but I just want you to use those because I know it works. All right, so open up a new game. Okay, I call this Tennis Mania, but you can call it anything related to tennis. Now, let's get the screen size in order. Viewport, 800 by 1,000. Okay, so put that. Then layouts, that's the other section. Um, Let me see. Layout one. Make sure the size is also 800 by 1,000. So everything needs to be 800 by 1,000. And now you should have that size, which is a good kind of tennis. Let's add everything else. Let me double check something. That, yeah. So I put it as a sprite. Okay. So insert new object. We're going to do sprites. We're going to put a bunch of different sprites here. And this will be tennis wall. Okay. Make sure spell it right. Like what I did. Put tennis wall. And remember, it's gonna be 800 by 1,000 size. I gave you the picture to download. All right, so let's get that wall. Um, I put, my design. If you want to change anything of how it looks, you definitely should. But I just kept this because I know it kind of works. So let me put it 800 by 1,000, so it's a perfect size fit. Okay, and we gotta do a couple things here. Um, Minimize it. Image point, make sure that I will put it like right, probably there in the middle. And now I'm going to put the collision polygon right about up there because we want the ball to hit the wall up on top, not so low. So it's creating the illusion that the ball is hitting the the bottom. Hold on. Eli, dog's getting into something. Um, and yeah, so that should be good. So leave it like that. We can always adjust it more later on, like this. Make sure the sprite image is perfectly on there. All right, now let's get the player. All right, so insert new sprite, tennis player. So I'll just put player. And we could put that down there. And so we got different images for the players. I gave a bunch of animations. So I will do animation one. Let's have that. And that looks pretty good. Make sure to, these things are, oh no, so we want to put it on the racket. That was the thing. So for the player, you don't need all these. things here. We can delete some of these image points. If yeah, probably can delete some of these. You don't need so many. So select a couple of these things, delete it if there's too many. But we want to put it close to the tennis racket. You want to give yourself a little more room than you can. You want to cheat, you can stretch it, but you want it to be kind of realistic. So put it right on that tennis racket. Okay, so that's pretty good. This is the most work out of the animations. Now, let's do animation 2. So we're gonna add an animation. We're gonna do the same exact one, but the one going left. So it's the same thing, but now it's going left. And put it all on the racket. Okay. Probably could delete some of these. Like, I think that's literally about all you need. So you definitely want to delete some of these if that's showing up for you. Way too many. What's going on with that? So I'm just deleting a lot of these. Delete, delete. Sorry, that's a little tedious, but that happens. You gotta do that. And I'll just put this here. All right, give myself a little bit of room to that. All right, that should be pretty good. Make sure the image point is right on that paddle. So all image points should be on the paddle. Okay, now keep adding Now this one I want you to add, this is gonna be a hitting animation because you can either hit the ball like that, but when you can get that swing is what we want. So let's add some more. There's gonna be an animation for it for the right hit, and that will be that one and that one. Open. So good. Now we have two two pictures here. So all we gotta do, image point, put it on the paddle, put it on the paddle. And you could tell I drew it bigger just to give it like, you know, some more detail. And of course, again, make sure you just put it all on that paddle. I mean, if you want to use all the image points, you can. I mean, the collision polygon, you can. You can give yourself some more room. Put that in, make it a little more realistic because it's got to be hidden right there. Right? Okay, so we have that. Again, make sure that image point's there. Now we got that. Same exact thing. Gotta do the work here. Okay, so that collision is gonna be right there. Okay, cool. So that looks fine. We got one more animation for the left hand, right? Can't be lazy. We gotta make sure we add all these animations in. Left hand, layer 4 crop. And same thing, image point on that paddle. Boom. And right there. Should be good. And now let's do the work again. All right. Delete some of these, man. Way too many. Delete that one. Okay. Delete that. You gotta delete. You gotta go. Too many. Jeez. Uh-uh. I'll just use that. Give yourself some room if you want, you know, room for error. Call it. You hit the ball better. All right, so we got that. Oh, and this one, of course, I missed that one. So make sure you get all of them. Delete that. Yeah, this is the longest part of it, the tennis player. And, we're gonna have to adjust some things of how he hits the tennis ball. So it's got some work. All right, so just double checking. That looks pretty good. I think everything's fine now. We have all the animations. Boom. And we could put him right there. And, I usually make them a little smaller. You don't need to be that big. You can adjust it to your liking. Let's add the tennis ball now. Tennis ball. So insert new object. Move this out the way. Spray. This is going to be the tennis ball. And I gave you a tennis ball to use, but you can just make a circle. It's up to you. And you're gonna put it right by the paddle. You can just use mine if you want because it just seemed to be working good and I'd rather not take any risk. So I'm gonna use the tennis ball I got, but you can just make a circle and that's fine. What is that? Why it look like that? Oh, okay, okay. No, it's fine. So tennis ball looks good. Image point, put it right there and looks good. Okay. So we have that. Let me close that. There's no animations or anything. Okay, so let me hit play, see how it's looking so far. So I got my player. Okay. Looking like the game. Anything else? Oh, walls. It's optional. I put walls. It helps keep the ball in play. If you want it to not be there, that's fine too. But I mean, walls is we're just gonna insert new object. I think it's good to put it because it gets pretty difficult keeping the ball in there. But if you don't want to and make the game really hard, you have no walls and the ball will just go out of bounds. But I'm gonna put some walls here, and all we got to do is pretty much just fill it in, make it black. Boom. Like that. Oh, I see what the problem is. I'm out of color. There we go. And make sure that's there. That's there. Perfect. Right. And of course, we're gonna have to thin it out. So these are just the walls. We've done this for many games. It's very common when you're making games, you got some type of wall boundary. And you can just replicate it right there. And put it right there. Okay, so we got the wall there. Anything else? So let's see, object types. We're almost done now for part one. We could put text. That will be for the score. So put score. Put that right there. I think it's a good spot. Score. And of course, I will make it bigger. I would center it. Vertical alignment center. Right. And I will put 0 there. Okay. So what else? We're almost there, almost there. Text. Oh, and make sure we put keyboard. Add an object type keyboard. And put audio also, because it's good to get some sound effects when the ball's hitting the wall, or maybe some music for your game as well. Audio. And now let's add the behaviors. And I think that should be it for part one. So player don't have no behaviors. Tennis ball got physics. Edit behaviors. And physics, that's it. Physics should be the only one for it. And for that one, for the tennis ball, not ball, wall, tennis ball. Like I put mine density 3, friction that, elasticity 0.2. I also had it for bullet, but you might play around with the density and friction and that stuff, just depending on how it's moving. So, but I will put it as that for right now. We also got the tennis background. That's gonna need physics as well. Yes. And it's gonna be immovable. physics. Wait, did I do it? Wait, let me double check. Behavior. I don't know if I put it. What? Tennis wall. Did I? How many times? Oh, okay. I did put physics. I put it 2 times. My bad. So I'm just gonna delete that physics. But make sure you got one physics property, obviously. Don't need two. And we're gonna put it immovable. And let me see if I put any notes about that. Tennis wall. I think just leave it. I would leave it as that. We might play around with elasticity a little bit, but I would leave that for right now. Should be good. And so we got the ball, the walls too. The walls need to have the physics behavior also. So edit behaviors, walls got physics because you need the ball to bounce off of it. And of course, we're gonna make that immovable for the walls. Immovable. And you can leave all that. Everything's fine with that. And so if you hit play, then the ball is probably not gonna go up yet because we have to code it in the event sheet to have it go upward. So this should be part one. Everything looks good from what I see. And we hit play, and the ball's of course gonna fall. But other than that, we can't move yet. The ball's not going upward. That's all gonna be in the event sheet. So if you did all that, good job, and we'll get to this part next in part one. So stay tuned for part two. Good job, everyone.